How you guys doing? It's ZZ here, and I'm going to be ranking every single Battlefield 4 base map from worst to best. Now, how I'm going to be ranking these maps is literally just my enjoyability. So there might be some maps that are honestly genuinely like designed well, but I personally don't like just because of how they're designed. Personal preference. There's some things in this game that I don't like as other things. So I'm going to have that towards the bottom and the things that I like towards the top. If you disagree, it's all good. It's just my opinion. And I mean, honestly, a lot of maps in Battlefield 4 are really good. Even though this is the worst to best, I'd say like 9 out of the 10 maps I really like. So even though it's going to be at the bottom of the, like there's going to be a map that's like at the bottom of the list, it does not mean I don't like that map. It's just the fact that there's other maps that I prefer over it. So coming in at number 10, I have Golmud Railway, which I know is going to be controversial as hell. Now this map is designed well. It just hits nearly every single aspect that I don't like from a Battlefield map. One of my least favorite things in Battlefield 4 is vehicles. Whenever I die by a vehicle, I swear to God, I am never more mad in my entire life. I can never seem to get the hang of vehicles, and there's so many other people that just survive for hours on end in vehicles, and it feels like I can't do anything to stop them sometimes. Or just don't be bad. I know the best way to stop a vehicle is to get in another vehicle or to be an engineer class, but I feel like in the engineer class, the only thing that's good for it is stopping vehicles. When there's 3 other vehicles that you're going up against, it's just, you can't do it. And this map is designed for vehicles. It's big, there's a lot of open spaces, there's a lot of roads, and that really caters to vehicles, and that's really, really good for some people, and that's awesome for you guys, but for me, dude, I'm more of the infantry, boots on the ground kind of dude, building, you know, like actual like gunplay and stuff, and that just, oh my God, I get so mad on this map. Coming in at number 9, I actually have Flood Zone, and this is already kind of painful to put because I like Flood Zone, dude. Flood Zone is a good map. It's honestly a really good map. There's just a few things that just don't do it quite well for me. Basically, I think honestly what it is the Levolution event is kind of uninteresting and kind of doesn't really change anything. All it changes is the fact that you can't shoot in certain areas because there's water there. And it's, I don't know, I like it because it kind of restricts you to go to certain parts of the map, which is a really cool feature. It's just, there's so many different areas to die by, and there's so many different corners for people to camp in. So, dude, it kind of pains me to put it this low because I love Flood Zone. There's just so many other maps that I think are better. And at the number 8 spot, I actually have another map that is pretty classic. I have Langpang Dam. This map, which I also like, I feel like this is the map that's the most middle tier for me because it's got some good gameplay. I just feel like it's kind of small for a Battlefield map. Like, it's not really good with like the assault class. You can't really do anything with shotguns with it. But I do have to give it credit where credit is due because when you snipe on this map, it is one of the most fun maps to snipe on because if you fly a helicopter up onto the dam and you snipe on there, that's so much fun. So Langpang Dam, man, if you're sniping on it, it can be an A+ tier map. Now at the 7th spot, I actually have Zavod 311. Now the reason why I have Zavod 311 so low is just because honestly, it seems like all the servers I get into, it's always like one side is just demolishing another side. It never really seems like a fair game on Zavod because it always seems like the team that gets the upper hand at first has the upper hand the entire game. And while that can be kind of fun in like an Operation Locker type map, with Zavod, it just kind of gets on my nerves sometimes. So whenever the map is actually like balanced and like there's actual balanced teams and stuff, it can be a really, really good map. But whenever there's a team that has an upper hand and is just nailing into another team, man, it's pretty boring. And at the number 6 spot, I have Rogue Transmission, which also pains me because this is such a good map. This map is amazing and it has so much going for it. Honestly, going on top of the satellite dish is literally one of the most fun things you could do on Battlefield 4, other than the fact that you can't really kill many people on there because it's so up high. But it's so much fun. There's a lot of good things going for it. I think the reason why I have it so low is just, well, not so low, but like in the middle of the tier, is just for 2 reasons. One, it seems pretty open and it's a little before the actual satellite dish crashes, but after the satellite dish crashes, it's like an A+ tier, nearly S tier map. But it seems a little open. You kind of seem to get backed into a corner sometimes where if you're on the actual satellite dish, you're going to die no matter what, either from a sniper or from a helicopter or from a jet. So there's some of those areas where it just seems like you can't really do anything in, which kind of knocks it a little bit. And the second reason is just because there's so many good maps in this game that it kind of just gets overshadowed by them. Coming in at number 5, I have Harbin Resort. Now, honestly, the reason why I have Harbin Resort just like towards the middle is just because of the lack of symmetry, and it kind of feels like a Siege of Shanghai, but just a little bit worse. Harbin Resort on one side of the map, the side with like E and B, and then the building where like C's at, is fantastic. It's absolutely amazing with like the shipwreck and stuff. But where A and B is, I feel like it's always just kind of deserted. Where like no one really goes there. Everyone's always where C is or D, and it's just kind of like a dead part of the map, which I feel like they could have done more with, but it's still an S-tier map. Now for the number 4 spot, I have Dawnbreaker. And Dawnbreaker is fantastic for sniping. Dawnbreaker has a lot of it, honestly. Dawnbreaker is really, really good with sniping. It's got some really, really good up-close areas, and there's some great vehicle play on this. Like I said, I don't like vehicles, but it's like really well done on this map, where you can hide from the vehicles, but you can also, you know, just take them head on. And I like that, where you have the option to do different things. And also Dawnbreaker, I know I haven't talked about this with any of the other maps. Dawnbreaker is a beautiful map. It has so much lighting, and it kind of reminds me of how Qatar is going to look in Battlefield 2042. Right as I saw Qatar in the Battlefield 2042 trailer, I immediately thought of Dawnbreaker, and that made me so excited because I genuinely love this map so much. All right, and then entering into the top 3. In the number 3 spot, I have Siege of Shanghai, which I feel like is going to be very controversial, but there's a very specific reason why I have Siege of Shanghai at number 3 and not any higher. Siege of Shanghai, before the Levolution event, is easily the best map in the game. It takes the cake no matter what. It's fantastic, and it has some of the best gunplay I've ever played in a game ever. Although after the Levolution event, the lack of the building in the middle and the dust kills me. It goes from a great looking map, a great functioning map, to still a really good map, even after the Levolution event, but it's just uglier and way harder to see and play on. Even after the Levolution event, you still have so much good gameplay in this map, though. It goes from like an S+ tier before the Levolution event to like an A tier afterwards. It's still good, it's just, it doesn't keep that consistently through everything. Now at the number 2 spot, I'm going to put Operation Locker, everyone's favorite meat grinder. Operation Locker is one of those maps where you're going to get 1,000 kills, but also 1,000 deaths because there's just so much chaos going on. Now, Operation Locker, even though I have it at number 2, it can get pretty tedious after a little while because it is just running and dying, running and dying, running and dying. But that's what the map is made for. It's made for that chaotic nature, and whenever you get a breakthrough where you get past the enemy line, it is one of the most satisfying things you could do in this game. Seeing your whole team just running through a single condensed area is some of the most adrenaline pumping moments you could get in a Battlefield game. And I think Operation Locker does what it does so well that you cannot put it anywhere outside of the top 3. The only knock I have on this map is there's absolutely nowhere to snipe. If you want to play Operation Locker, you have to either play Assault, Engineer, or Support, and if you don't, then you're not going to be doing as good as the rest of the people. Some people might say that you could snipe outside, but even then, you'll probably just get flanked from around the back after a breakthrough, and then just die anyway, and then now you're at the back of the spawn, and you can't snipe anywhere. Now, number 1, if you've done Process of Elimination, I'm sure you know what it is, but at the number 1 spot, I have Paracel Storm. Now, ask me this about 3 years ago, and I probably would have said Operation Locker is my favorite map. But recently, Paracel Storm has really been rising. There's a reason why a lot of my videos have Paracel Storm in them. It, for me, is one of the most perfect maps in the game. Now, it doesn't have a Levolution event, but honestly, the event that goes on during it kind of makes the map for me. Because if you don't know, which you must be living under a rock, but if you don't know, Paracel Storm's event is basically just a hurricane coming in. And even though it doesn't change anything with the gameplay, it kind of skews with the visibility. Even though it doesn't change anything with the gameplay, it makes it so much more chaotic and just so much more urgent. I feel like whenever I'm playing this map and the storm comes in, I just get like a deep hit feeling in my stomach where I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna die, even though it's literally doing nothing to my character. Now, about the vehicles and the water and the islands, I think it's executed perfectly because the islands and the water prove for enough battleground where you could have 2 different experiences, where it's either on the water in a boat, which is absolutely not what I do because I do not like vehicles, or on land where you're avoiding most of the vehicles vehicles, and it's just straight gunplay. There's a lot of good sniping access, there's a lot of good close quarters access, there's so much that you could want on this map. And I feel like it's a little bit easier to take down the vehicles on this map too, which is personally one of my favorite parts about it, just because it seems like vehicles are more spread out on this map, where you're going to be fighting one helicopter or one jet or one boat. I've never had a time where there's like 4 different vehicles on me at the same time, and I feel like in a lot of other maps that happens more than once every single game. Alright guys, that's gonna be the end of the video, and if you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, and then if you want to see more battlefield challenges, battlefield top 10s if you guys want, I actually really like making this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you stay notified about all that, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.